night. Well, it's evening on my side, and I believe it's morning on most of your sides.
Yes, yes.
So I would like to take you through a journey of my life. And as Leah has nicely said, my journey is by no means prescriptive, but it's based on what I've seen, what I've experienced, what I've observed. It's the most important thing. So let me start off. I was raised by both my parents, my mom and my dad. My mom played a very active stance in my life. So she was at all school activities that I had. She would be at Sunday school activities or sports activities. She would just be present. And if she couldn't attend any of my sessions, she would actually sit me down after the session and she would ask me what has happened. My dad, on the other hand, was present but absent. My dad didn't know whether I was coming or whether I was going, whether it was my birthday or whether it wasn't. My dad was just not there. And the reason for that is he was trapped in alcoholism. That is my dad's number one habit. If my dad gets paid, bottle store. We had in our communities, we had things that we called shebeens. It's effectively a house that somebody sells alcohol from. That was my dad's hangout spot. My dad gets paid, that is where we'll go. The challenge that we had in our house all the time was when my mother, who was a domestic worker, gets her pay at the end of the week, then she would need to make sure that she takes care of the household stuff. My dad, on the other hand, when he gets his salary, first stop is shebeen. That's where my dad would go. So my mother and dad had this constant argument every month end. Whoever has my dad's bank account will get the money in my dad's, but that's my dad's salary. If you didn't have it, then sorry, you're not getting it. And I will remember arguments in the house, you know, when my mother had the bank account and the card and she would have withdrawn my dad's salary, the argument will be, now what must I do? My mother will say, you've got children, you've got a wife, you've got a house, you've got a roof, there's food, that all these things need to be taken care of. But my dad was just never moved by that. Okay. And what did that plant in me? It says to me, a girl shouldn't get married because if you get married, you're going to be single in your marriage, yet you're going to be a married woman. And that was for me the biggest thing. How can a woman fight for money, fight to give her children what they're supposed to be having? So as I went through life, I always said to myself, I never want to be dependent on a man. I'm not going to ask a man for anything. I'm going to do everything myself because what my mother had to do, if a globe finished fused in the house, my mother had to change it. My dad wasn't going to do it. So I said to myself, it would be better off me to go ahead and do things all by myself. So at the age of 18, I finished school. I started tertiary studies and my mom passed. I was very angry at God because how could he take the one person that has fought for me all my life, the one person that stood by me, the one person that was with me all the time. Yeah, God took that person away from me. Okay. And I became I'm not going to go to church. I'm not going to pray. I'm not going to read the Bible. Why must I do all that? God has hurt me. But as life progressed, I later decided that I would like to fill this void that my mother has left in my life, my mother's death has left, and filled it with my own son. Okay. And then I wasn't planning on getting married. So I had the boy. And I remember in the hospital, they taught me how to let the baby latch and drink from you. So in the hospital, the 2 days that I was there, I got it right. But when I went home, for some reason, I just couldn't do this basic thing. The baby was crying. I had full breast and I just couldn't get this done. Ran down to the pharmacy and I said to them, guys, I need help. My child is hungry. I can't feed him. And I remember the pharmacist looked at me and she says, your breasts look pretty healthy. You got a nice dairy going there. And I said to her, but this baby is not here. So what must I do? She said, I'll come show you. She walked to my house and she positioned me. She took baby and she positioned baby. And there the magic started. I felt the sense of this baby extracting from me. And baby grew so much. I mean, those of you that is breastfed have seen what wonders breast milk does to babies. And that brought me to a point where I had to rethink certain things. All this nurse did, she came, she centered me. And then I realized I need to center myself again. There was lots of things that has happened in my life that made things not work out for me. But if you center yourself, things can change. And as I went through this journey, I had to look at what is the good, what is the bad, that's the ugly about Gail that needs to come out so that Gail can be this divine person. I mean, I can't be angry at God. God created men, God created women. We are his creations. He can decide what he wants to do. Took me on a further journey. I realized now I'm a mother. What am I going to teach this boy? Okay, so I looked at society, and I've listened to your story, Whoop, and I was really touched by it. And many times things happen in life because this is what society has dictated. This is what society has put down. And that's where all my observations also has come through. I've come to learn that there's certain things that men do that women has implanted in them. Mothers, we have implanted certain things. And what are those things? And this is where the tip set comes in, is we as women, we can prevent boys' issues later in life. And what are those issues? Number one, mommy issues. What are mommy issues, you may ask me? This is when mommy is distant, mommy doesn't take care of child, mommy is pushing child away, whatever. And this boy constantly needs to come and look for mommy, constantly need to come and look for mommy's love. And mommy's just not giving. Okay? That gives a problem later on in life. Man won't trust a woman simply because he needs constantly to run after her. He can't he's looking, he's a void in his life and he's looking for it. Mommy, we created it. We shouldn't be doing things like that. The next thing that we have is mommy's boys. This is the different one altogether. This is now where mommy is now in the face. Boy can't eat himself. Boy can't iron for himself. Boy can't make tea. Boy can't make coffee. One of my cousins said to me at one point, you know what, girl, I will actually burn water. So my mother will make me coffee. Okay? What problems does that create later on in life? A husband just sits on the couch. He wants woman, he wants wife to bring everything to him. And the world has changed. World has changed. Women are empowered. We can do as much as what men can do. So we need to balance out what we allow boys to do, and we actually need to get them to a point where they learn from themselves what is it that needs to get done. Then this is the other one I've picked up, bullying. As mothers, we can bully our children big time without even realizing it. How do we do that? You're just going to be like your father. You're just going to do this. You're just going to... Wrong thing. There's power in our tongues. Whatever we speak now goes into existence. And it's words that we are speaking that's alive. And that is something we need to hold back on. Again, it comes back to centering yourself. Something else I've picked up that I need to look at is my boys' emotional stance. You know, many times we say, boys don't cry. That's the worst thing we can say. In a study that was done by Kramer in 2000, he actually found that the male fetus is more vulnerable than the girl fetus, which means girls are actually more ahead. The development of girls is faster than what it is for boys. So as a result, we actually need to give more attention to our boys. Us buying our boys cars to play with, balls to kick, what are we teaching them? We buy girls dolls. We buy them tea sets. We teach them how to be a mother. We don't do that with boys. And that's a big problem because now boy is married someday. Now boy talks to wife. I want a car. The car goes from 0 to 900 kilometers in 1 hour. It has a torque of this. It has a range of that. The fuel consumption is that. And the girl is sitting there. I just want to have my own baby. Problem starts in the house. Simply because our man doesn't know how to speak what family values are. They don't know. And this is where we need to come in and we actually need to look at helping them a little bit more. I'm drawing into a close and I want to show you this analogy. This is a simple matchbox that I've got. But what this matchbox represents is a cover, okay? If this cover is over the matchbox, it's stable. If it's not there, it can be flattened. Okay? And this is effectively the father figure. If father is not in his position where family ought to be, the world can flatten father out quickly. The whole year shows mother. Mother holds the kids inside. Okay, they keep the kids intact. So as a unit, this is how families ought to operate. The mother holds dad in shape. Dad protects mother and the children. What's important is you will see here's the ignition strip. The box has got matches. Each match has got a head that needs to be ignited. And this is where Daddy comes into play. Now, for me, that's a single mother. What do? I don't go around and find another woman's husband to be my husband. No, I go around and look for a mentor, somebody that can help my boy to be the best that he can be. What I want to leave you ladies with is, instead of us trying to get to a point where we want to give another woman a bulletproof vest to wear, I'm saying let's raise our boys differently. Let's take the bullets out of the gun and raise our boys to not be harmful. Campaigns that we're running, violence against women and children, I believe as mothers, we sit with them with a mechanism to remove the bullets from the gun. A parting thought I want to leave you with is the character of a grown man is directly linked to the boy that we are raising today. Raise him to be your pride and joy.